Calamity Angel's special delivery silly charm won me over enough to neglect my current Ryza 2 replay, so much that after 19 more hours of mail, moods, and monsters, I've managed to finish Compile Heart's latest quirky JRPG journey. Getting into the meat of Calamity Angels, the silliness naturally continues. Jokes are everywhere from its dialogue to battles, with it occasionally more interested in wasting your time to prove its character's silliness, with your ability to put up with that likely being a make or break in your opinion of this colorful journey. You could say it doesn't overstay its welcome in its 28 hours, or you could say its mood-based shenanigans make it run a little long, but either way, it charmed me enough to stick with it to the end and carry this postal journey all the way to its destination. As a brief refresher, Calamity Angel's special delivery is a JRPG about delivering mail, with its defining points being inventory mail management quests and a Moody team. So Moody, in fact, they'll downright refuse your commands that can lead to Mage Ivarus throwing weak punches and Sleepy Somnia taking a little nap during battle. In my first impressions, I was enjoying this Moody mechanic. It's definitely a change to having full control in turn-based systems and does a good job emphasizing the nature of its characters for the story, but how it fares over a longer playthrough could be another thing, depending on your luck and how you like to feel when you play. Playing more with this mechanic, officially known as the tension mechanic, this can be your best friend and worst enemy, depending what it brings you. Over my 28-hour playthrough, I'd be lying if I said there weren't times where I just wish my group would do what I asked, and the gag can feel a little tired after the 5th time in one battle someone didn't listen to me that led me to sometimes using the fast forward function. But if my own personal tension was good that day, I was still able to keep my original amusement with the mechanic, with its special attacks popping up at different parts of your journey, showing how this insolence can sometimes be an advantage if played just right. Getting to know characters on that deeper level gave me a slightly better sense of how they'd react after I did some character quests, and therefore had me start to feel like I was getting the upper hand thanks to the extra time I spent in its moments. In the least spoilery example, it's easy to see in dialogue that Ivarus really does have a passion for finding the strongest enemies, so often I'd find despite her wanting to punch everything usually, she'd actually be happy to dish out some big magic attacks in boss battles that made her a great choice for those, and characters like Somnia and Selma, who can be less useful on field battles, can really come in clutch if the right conditions present themselves. However, I can understand wanting a little more predictability, so I found characters like Numero and Celia fairly useful, as Celia will do anything for cash and has a good group attack, and Numero is usually happy to use his alchemy, which I can respect. Enemies are often susceptible to status ailments that's useful too, and kinda makes the mood part a little forgivable, so as long as you know how your characters react to each other in both facial expressions to judge their tension and skill, and character combos that will guarantee more big hits, it is possible to get through Calamity Angels with only some of your time wasted, as long as you're occasionally willing to miss a few turns on their whims here and there. I think one of the things that could also make this frustrating for some is that the board game feeling of it continues that random feeling, especially on certain fields. Fields with things like volcanoes have you only able to roll up to 3 instead of 6, and when you get hit by status ailments like burn just for trying to move on its map, it can feel like Calamity Angels is trying to work against you, although maybe we should appreciate that these are the harsh conditions our postal workers are delivering mail in. One thing that made me feel much better was the moment I realized the deadlines for the mail actually don't matter that much though. Each step you take, you lose the amoy of the package, aka the thoughts the sender had behind them that dwindle away over time. But, like real mail, that doesn't actually matter so much. Your job is to get that parcel from A to B at some point, and yes, you'll lose some bonuses and XP that might mean you need to do one more character quest to progress the story, but as a lover of JRPG unseriousness, I wanted to do those anyway, so I felt almost no pressure to deliver packages on time, which is a sentiment I hope my actual postal worker doesn't feel, but it worked just fine to keep Calamity Angels feeling light that had me not mind the way its randomness hit me. This is good, as I think Calamity Angels' main draw is just being a good silly JRPG that doesn't overstay its welcome, so as long as you can take it as unseriously as it takes itself, Calamity Angels' mechanics make it a JRPG with some quirky ones that poke fun at the player and its world, all while telling a fun and silly narrative that should be the main reason you play it. Calamity Angel's special delivery is the exact kind of silly JRPG I look for in my more relaxed gaming time. It slowly reveals things about its characters as you progress, such as how it showed me that Selma hates bugs so much she won't fight them on the battlefield, which I saw there before an event about it, and its combination of revealing things in its quest's main story and its moody battles make it a world that I had a lot of fun finding things out in, and a script that makes its jokes shine even with references to modern Japan. A lot of this is thanks to a quirky cast. Ivarist Insomnia aside, the crazy song title making Luminous offers that what did you just say feeling to dialogue, and Selma and Numero add that more serious, shy, and cynical colors to conversations respectively that make the absolute unhingedness of characters all have their different shades to make for that colorful Compile Heart JRPG feeling that I loved every event of. Calamity Angels, like many good comedy JRPGs that Compile Heart seems to enjoy making, is committed to never being too serious, right down to its final moments, and going in being an enjoyer of that probably helped me like this experience, especially as its character quests rewarded me for taking the extra time to argue with its battle system. And there were some unexpected plot points. There is an arc in its narrative that reveals another side to everything, and the fact that it's rooted in mail delivery is both comical and pure at times, with its final boss having you feel like, is this really all for delivering mail? But also putting in the right JRPG tropes that make it make total sense in a way only a silly Compile Heart JRPG could. I love these kinds of experiences to break up my JRPG time, so I'm really glad that this one can give me that line-by-line fun that I love, and I look forward to hopefully enjoying more of its light moments in its post-postal game world someday, as these characters, especially off the battlefield, are a lot of fun to spend time with. Like many Compile Heart games, I finished Calamity Angels in its slightly shorter runtime of 28 hours, including a little post-game, and there's a true ending to shoot for too, so while I enjoyed its moody mechanics, I am waiting for a day when I'm in the right mood to deal with them to see the extra part of its narrative that I would ultimately like to see, as I liked its characters. It's maybe not the first thing I jump into right now, but I also leave it knowing that the times I was into it, it was kind of addictive. Maybe it's because of its luck mechanics, but it was kind of fun to see how things were gonna go, especially because you can manipulate them with items somewhat. In its limited role dungeons, it's fun to feel like you're beating the dice when you use an extra boost to extend how much you can move, and while I did feel kind of hit or miss about its maze-style dungeons at times, the satisfaction I felt when I got them right and could get things like teleport points for next time, something my postal worker definitely doesn't have, made me feel like I was conquering its obstacles in a fun way. Its postal theme is enjoyable to be in, and its silly jokes usually hit. The only thing to contend with is whether or not you want to reliably hit the enemy today or roll the dice with good humor, and for me, after a hard day, I usually actually do want to be sure I can play well, but I also like these characters enough to hope to see them again, so I haven't uninstalled it yet. In the end, my 28 hours with Calamity Angels were good, silly fun to start my time with this year's releases with, and will make me appreciate when characters in my future journeys do listen to me, with plenty of giggles gained along the way here. So while its mechanics might not be for everyone, or people will notice things like some of its music still not always looping properly or slightly longer load times on its otherwise smooth Switch version, I hope those who want something to laugh with can still enjoy it in this colorful, funny postal journey with characters drawn by Death End Request K Nanameda that is worth trying if you're looking for something light and humorous to play. Calamity Angel's special delivery is great for the fan of silly JRPGs who doesn't mind a bit of luck mixed in with the way they play. It can be more predictable if you take time to get to know it during quests to bring in more of its narrative silliness, but even then is probably the most fun if you're willing to embrace its unpredictability and try to find its random special attacks and more about its characters to try and make the most of a moody team. For me, Compile Heart once again has scratched my silly JRPG itch with its fun moments, all with a postal theme that added some nice wholesomeness into the mix, and whether I come back to this soon or not, I'm glad Calamity Angels exists as that fun light moment I love having exist in my gaming time that has me excited to see what kind of everyday theme we can see weaved into JRPGs next. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know in the comments below if you've tried Calamity Angels, and if you have, what did you think of it? You can like and share this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel for more JRPG content like this, and ring that bell to get notifications on whenever I post so you don't miss a thing. You can check out more videos here, and you can find me on social media on X, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, all at JRPG Jungle. Links to those will be in the description below. Thank you to Idea Factory for the code, and until next time, thank you!